Most car reviews talk about horsepower, screens, and resale value, but this one is different. This is about your back after 2 hours on the highway, your knees getting out of the car in a tight parking space, your eyes during night driving, your brain after a long day. Because real ownership isn't about test drive impressions. It's about how the car feels in daily life. Today, we're comparing the Toyota RAV4 and the Mazda CX-5 purely on comfort and usability. Not numbers, not spec sheets, just real-world living. Getting in and out, the first daily test. Let's start with something people over 40 immediately notice: step-in height. The RAV4 sits slightly higher than the CX-5. That might not sound like much, but it changes the movement pattern when entering and exiting. In the RAV4, you slide in more naturally. Your hips don't dip down as much and your knees don't bend as deeply. For anyone with stiff joints, a sensitive lower back, or recovering from surgery, this matters. The CX-5 sits lower. It feels sportier when you're driving, but when getting out, you push upward more. If you're coming from a sedan, the CX-5 transition feels easy and familiar. If you're coming from a taller luxury SUV, the RAV4 feels more natural. Door opening width also plays a role. The RAV4 doors open slightly wider, especially at the rear. That makes loading kids, groceries, or helping older passengers noticeably easier. This is one of those small things that becomes big after 1,000 entries and exits. Seat comfort on long trips. Now let's talk about the seat itself. On first impression, the CX-5 feels more premium. The cushions are softer, the leather feels richer. The seating position hugs you slightly more, but softness is not the same as long-term support. After 2 hours on the highway, the difference becomes clearer. The CX-5 seat feels plush at first but can feel slightly firmer in the lower cushion over extended drives. Some drivers report mild thigh fatigue because the seat base isn't very long, especially for taller drivers. The RAV4 seat feels flatter and less luxurious initially, but it offers more upright posture support. The lumbar adjustment range in higher trims is broader, and the overall seat base feels slightly more accommodating for larger drivers. Height adjustment range is good in both, but the RAV4 gives a bit more commanding visibility. If you're used to European luxury SUVs, the CX-5 feels closer in texture. If you value neutral posture and less fatigue over time, the RAV4 may surprise you. After 2 hours, the RAV4 feels more neutral. The CX-5 feels more styled. Ride quality and suspension feel. This is where daily fatigue really begins. The CX-5 uses independent rear suspension across the range. The RAV4 uses independent rear suspension in most trims as well, though some markets previously offered torsion beam setups in lower trims. Independent suspension simply means each rear wheel moves separately, improving comfort over uneven surfaces. On the road, the CX-5 feels tighter, more controlled, more European. It absorbs bumps cleanly but transmits more texture into the cabin. The RAV4 feels softer overall. It smooths potholes slightly better at low speeds and feels less busy over rough country roads. Speed bumps highlight the difference. The CX-5 rebounds quickly and feels composed but slightly firm. The RAV4 floats over them with a bit more body movement but less sharpness. On long highway drives, the RAV4 feels more relaxed. The CX-5 feels more engaged. Engaged sounds good in a review. Relaxed feels better after 3 hours. Cabin noise and refinement. Noise fatigue is real. At 100 to 110 km per h, the CX-5 is impressively quiet for its class. Wind noise is well controlled. The cabin insulation feels slightly more premium. The RAV4, especially non-hybrid petrol versions, can allow more engine noise under acceleration. The hybrid version is much quieter overall in steady cruising. Road noise depends on tires, but generally the CX-5 feels slightly more insulated from outside noise at highway speeds. However, the RAV4 hybrid has a calmer tone in daily city driving because of electric assistance. Over long distances, both are acceptable, but the CX-5 feels more refined in isolation. The RAV4 feels calmer when driving gently. If serenity is your priority, test drive both on the highway, not just city streets. Visibility and ease of driving. Here's where the RAV4 wins clearly. The RAV4 has larger windows and a more upright driving position. The A-pillars create fewer blind spots. The rear window is bigger. It feels easier to place on the road. The CX-5 has a more cocooned cabin. The rear window is smaller and the design slopes slightly more. It feels stylish but slightly less open. Parking is easy in both, but the RAV4's higher seat position helps drivers feel more confident in tight spaces. Camera quality is good in both. Higher trims offer 360-degree systems. Mazda's camera graphics look sharper, but Toyota's system is intuitive and straightforward. For drivers who value ease and visibility over sportiness, the RAV4 reduces stress slightly more. Tech usability, living with it daily. This is about your brain. The CX-5 uses a rotary controller for its infotainment system in most trims. Some people love it because it reduces screen touching. Others find it slower than direct touch input. Toyota's newer RAV4 models feature touchscreen systems with physical volume knobs and shortcut buttons. Font size and layout matter more than flashy graphics. Toyota's interface tends to use larger icons and clearer menu structures. Mazda's interface looks more premium, but may feel slightly less intuitive for non-tech drivers. Physical climate buttons exist in both, which is excellent. For someone who doesn't want to fight their car every morning, the RAV4 feels simpler. The CX-5 feels slightly more upscale but requires a short learning curve. Practicality and boot space. Boot space is where real life shows up. The RAV4 offers noticeably more cargo space with seats up. The opening is wider and more square, making it easier to load large suitcases, golf clubs, prams, or mobility aids. The CX-5's boot is respectable but smaller. The load floor is slightly higher. Spare wheel availability depends on market and trim. Many RAV4 hybrids use a space-saver spare or repair kit. Some petrol trims offer full-size spares. The CX-5 often offers a space-saver spare in many regions. For buyers who prioritize a full-size spare, check the specific trim carefully. This is a common complaint in ownership forums. Loading height is slightly lower in the CX-5, but the RAV4's overall space flexibility makes it better for larger families or frequent road trips. We're not staying neutral. In this video, we're not going to sit on the fence. Both the RAV4 and CX-5 are good cars, but they are not equally good for everyday comfort. If your priority is how the car feels on your body, your joints, your stress levels, and your long-term usability, there is a clearer winner. The Mazda CX-5 feels more premium at first touch. The interior looks richer. The steering feels sharper. It gives that baby luxury SUV impression. But after longer drives in daily use with real-world entry and exit, visibility, and ride comfort, the Toyota RAV4 is the easier car to live with. It's easier to get in and out of. It offers better outward visibility. It has more cargo space. It feels more relaxed over rough roads. The controls are simpler and more intuitive. And for drivers 55 plus, ex-sedan owners moving up, or anyone prioritizing comfort over sportiness, the RAV4 simply makes daily life easier. That's the key word, easier. Now, if you are coming from a European luxury SUV and you value tighter handling and a more cocooned cabin feel, you may still prefer the CX-5. But if you ask us, which one would we recommend to the majority of buyers focused on comfort and usability? Buy the RAV4. It is the smarter long-term comfort choice. If this helped you make a clearer decision, subscribe to the channel because we don't stay neutral when one option genuinely makes more sense. Now tell me, are you buying with your heart or with your back?